An eye for an eye, leadership lessons from a blind man's game. I am a great fan of the author Jeffrey Archer. His books are incredibly thought-provoking, and so many lessons can be learned from them. And over the next few sessions, I will be going through some of his iconic books, such as Cain and Abel and more. This summary, though, is about An Eye for an Eye, a short story by Jeffrey Archer. The story is a psychological masterclass in leadership, power, and trust. It's not just a story about two cellmates, it's a quiet storm that challenges our assumptions about vulnerability, control, and influence. Let me unpack it for you, not as a literary review, but as a lesson in leadership strategy. The story in brief. Arthur is a blind, eloquent man serving time for manslaughter. His cellmate is the convicted killer who initially treats Arthur with suspicion. Over time, Arthur's quiet intellect and grace win him over. So much so that one day, the hardened prisoner offers to do a favor for Arthur, anything he wants. Arthur's chilling request? I want you to gouge out one of the eyes of the man who caused my car accident. If I can't see, he shouldn't either. The cellmate agrees. But the twist? Arthur was never in a car accident. He had been blind since birth. His story was a fabricated loyalty test. And the cellmate fell for it. Leadership reflections: who really held the power? We often associate leadership with status, titles, or visible strength. But Arthur, blind and imprisoned, had none of those. And yet, he controlled and convinced a hardened criminal. Why? Because leadership is less about position, and more about perception, persuasion, and emotional intelligence. Here are the 5 leadership lessons buried in this gripping tale. 1. Power isn't loud, it's subtle. Arthur never raised his voice, never flexed authority. But his intelligence and calm composure made him the alpha in the cell. The lesson here is that leaders who listen, think, and influence quietly often command more loyalty than those who lead through noise and fear. 2. Perception is not reality. The cellmate and most people will assume that Arthur is a victim seeking justice. But in reality, he's a strategic manipulator testing limits. Good leaders challenge their assumptions. Don't take stories or people at face value. They ask more profound questions to uncover the truth behind the words. 3. Manipulation versus motivation. Arthur uses emotional storytelling to trigger action. That's persuasion at its peak. But it also flirts with manipulation. In leadership, influence must be ethical. Use your words to inspire, not to test loyalty through deception. 4. Even the weaker have agency. In a world that overlooks the quiet, the blind, the less assertive, Arthur flips the script. We learn here that we should never underestimate someone based on perceived weakness. Wisdom, resilience, and insight often reside in the overlooked. 5. Loyalty is earned, not demanded. The cellmate didn't pledge loyalty because he was forced to. He did so because Arthur earned it, with empathy, dignity, and consistency. The story teaches us that the most loyal teams are not built through fear, but through trust, respect, and human connection. This begs the question about what type of leader are you? Are you like Arthur, strategic, composed, and emotionally aware? Or do you lean more toward brute force and hierarchy? Leadership is not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the one who understands the room. And sometimes, the most powerful leader is the one who doesn't even need to see to lead or say very little. If you're passionate about leadership, financial wisdom, and purposeful living, I share weekly insights to help professionals lead with clarity and impact. What's the most surprising leadership lesson you've ever learned from a story or life experience? Drop it in the comments. Please like, share and subscribe.